yes, I will be able, at least I have less work on my head, so I will be able to appear. And Musa So is currently seated in the conference room of our entity. So I will talk to my producer very shortly to have him usher in so that we can look at some of the critical issues. So for those of you who are watching, this conversation, this edition of the focal point is going to be very, very interesting because we are going to discuss fact based issues. We are going to discuss policy driven issues. We are going to look at some of the critical analysis because Representative Edward Pape Flomo, despite there are so many controversies surrounding him, and some people claim that he is not the best lawmaker suited for the position or to lead a district, but there are other people who are on the side who still believe in his style of leadership, and they too are saying that yes, indeed, despite Edo Flomo may not be able to do any other thing since he was elected on the basis of the by-elections. So they too want to they are working tirelessly to ensure that uh, Edward Pape Flomos can be able to retain his seat. So it is a competitive process that every one of us are expected to get involved into. And for some of us who are in the mainstream of journalism, who are practicing journalism, we will sit and we will sit in our neutral gear and watch the display of the the ballot or the vote being cast by the people. Let us remember that whatever decision we make at the ballot box will definitely represent us. Whatever decision we make at the ballot box will definitely represent us for 5 to 6 years. So we have to be very careful with the kind of decision we make. We have to be very cognizant of the quality of leadership we bring into the discourse. So, with that being said, we will speak with our producer to go and let our guest so that he can come in so that we can discuss some of the critical national issues here on today. So, why we are waiting for our guest, as you may be aware, that uh, there are lots of political activities in the district now. Uh, so far, so good. So the man by the name Musta So has just walked into our studio, and very shortly, my producer will have him placed on camera so that we can place a spin on the politics of District 13. So Musa So has been placed on camera. So for those of you who are watching us, Muribo Musa So has just walked into our studio. He is comfortably seated. He has been placed on camera by our guest. Okay, good day, Mr. Musa So, and welcome to Focal Online TV.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your invite and thank you for allowing me to give me the opportunity to be on your beautiful platform. And thanks to everybody who's listening or who's watching us from Foca TV. Uh, and thanks to the people of District 13.
How is the office of the lawmaker where you work and you serve, and you are not only serving the lawmaker, but you are serving the district in its entirety?
Okay, the office is doing brilliantly well. It is doing extremely well in terms of functionality, in terms of performance. It is working well.
You are working well. The office is working well. Okay, let us try to dive into some of the critical national issues, some of the allegations that have been in the public for a very long time. I want you because you are the rightful person. Despite we do not have we have not been given the privilege to speak with Representative Edward Pape Flomo, but since indeed you are in his office, you will be one of the persons clothed with the mantle of authority to respond to some of those questions that will be asked. So, uh, the representatives Edward Pape Flomo is seeking re-election. How well prepared is Representative Edward Pape Flomo in terms of his in his effort to seek his relations and other issues.
Okay. Honorable is very prepared. Uh, now what makes him very prepared? Because I use the adjective very is because he has he has been working since his ascendancy or since his coming to the taking over the seat of the district. So he has been working with the people. He has been working on programs for the people. He has been working on infrastructure for the people.
So can you point to some of those work he has been some of those tremendous work he has been involved with since his ascendancy?
Oh
We
yes, yes. Some of those they are many. They are uncountable. For the show because they will traveling then. We wouldn't continue the show in a different area. So there are work from education to infrastructure to empowerment and to some capacity buildings. So these are the works he has been involved into. So if you can go to education, yeah, if we can go to education, uh, he has a scholarship scheme, that runs in the district, that is of it runs, and as well as uh, their infrastructure. When it comes to infrastructure, there are a lot of work that he has been doing and he's still doing. And when it also comes to empowerment, there are a lot of programs that he has engaged into. He has been empowering people who are marketers in the district.
I will come to speak about the scholarship scheme. If I'm 100% right about the name of the Carlam Edward Scholarship Scheme, how really proactive, because there have been a series of controversies surrounding this scholarship. How really proactive, and what are the requirements that one need to meet prior to he or she being a beneficiary of that particular scholarship scheme?
Okay, the Caroline Edward Scholarship, has been in existence for over 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
That is to say, he launched that scholarship scheme before
Yeah,
he
yeah.
even
Prior,
before he
prior,
even
prior to his his current function,
yeah
his current occupation.
yeah.
So that scholarship scheme, was being run or has been run since 20. It was being run before the 2018 elections. It was restricted or it was limited to one of the schools, in Ghana's, so which is a junior Judokan high school. So there where he has been, sponsoring his scholarship. So when he took power, when he was elected, representative District 13, he decided to expand it. And before expanding it, he lobbied with, stakeholders in the district, which are companies, business people, yeah, businesses. So, in an effort to negotiate, for their corporate social responsibility to the district. So he went to them to negotiate, these scholarship programs, and then they gave him the go ahead to recruit students with schools, so they can be able to sponsor the scholarship program. But
A lot of people who are listening will be very concerned over the fact they want to really know or understand what really inspired Edward Fulmer. Is it that he had his political ambition, or he was using the scholarship scheme as a stepping stone to explore his chances to be able to navigate into politics? What really inspired him?
okay, so he has been a very uh, philanthropist. I can say if I want to use the red church of war, he has been a philanthropist. He has been a very good man who has been free-handed. So, but then if you there's something called uh, personal strategic planning. And personal strategic planning is a framework that allows you to plan, your life, your achievement, your vision, your vision, mission, and your goal. So probably this use he had this personal strategic plan because you should have a vision, and the vision should be a company with a mission, and the mission, the mission should have. I mean, the mission are those things that you work on to achieve a vision. So probably using the scholarship as one of his, a mission to achieve his vision. I mean, that one could conclude, but he has just been a philanthropist, someone who's doing good, who has been doing good from the time he started handling money.
So,
So I don't want to say that he used scholarship as a stepping stone, or maybe you were just doing it. I'm
yeah,
speaking for myself
yeah.
that he was just doing it. He didn't know about this particular, or that this would have come to to his attention.
So okay, let's jump into another talking point. Uh, what were some of those priorities prior to the establishment of the Green Revolutions, which is now successful? What were some of those things that you people saw that may have motivated Edward Flomo to contest for the district higher office after the ascendancy of Sir Joseph to to the senatorial position?
Okay, so we saw the bridge in education. A lot of people went to him over the time, to help them with school fees, both, elementary, elementary, junior high, and high school, and then we go to college or university levels. So there were a lot of people that were coming to him from the district for aid, you to help, to follow the education. So that was one that was registered. Another thing, he saw also the vacuum and structure, or public structure for the district. So, man, during his campaign in 2018, he was invited to a lot of communities, and during his visitation, the community leaders would, or they arranged, uh, private properties to convey, to convene, programs, or convene a meeting. So he saw it from one community to another community. So he saw this, he identified this as, as a problem that needed to be solved. So he placed it as one of his programs that you know, that when he has won the district, then, I mean, that would be a problem, problem to solve for the district. And another thing he saw people from the district going to him for aid to help them in businesses, and businesses mostly. So these people were also people that informed him. Their problems were also problems that informed him to be solved, during his administration. So he also placed it in a program to empower ladies, to empower small businesses, or to empower people in the district.
So, in a nutshell, has since his ascendancy to the highest office in the district, has he been able to tackle some of those challenges he saw that he said, yes, indeed, it is about time that I need to introduce the doctrine of green revolutions in an effort to emancipate my people from this kind of challenges they have endured?
Oh yes, when he took, when he was inducted in the office, 2019, because he won the elections, the district elections, 2018, and he was inaugurated 2019 in January. So one of the things he saw that was part of his platform is that there is a market building in Battery Factory by the name of Model Market, the only market building that is a cement market building, right? A modern home. So that market building was built previously before his administration by Honorable Sir Joseph, but it was built with wood. And Bajo Factory is a Swami community, so the planks or the woods were undermined, eroded by the soil, the wet soil. So it became a death trap for the beneficiaries, those who do business there, the business women, the business people. So he saw that as a problem. So Immediately while his inauguration was about, was over, he tackled that to change that particular market building from wooden market building to a cement market building. So, and he addressed that issue of people. So he said, we'll build a market building, we'll have offices for the market leadership. And besides the market leadership, leadership offices, uh, we want to get rid of what we call wooden table in the market. People come, they say, "Oh, my table is supposed to be served. It's not supposed to be, to avoid confusion." And if I said to even, um, how you call it, say, get rid of wooden table that you have to spend money on every time you renovate a table. So he decided to, add tables to the market building. So if you go there today, you see a very strong structure, very guaranteed structure of selling, serving the people of Battery Factory and other nearby communities. So that was one of his, I call it, signature projects in the district.
Okay,
Yeah.
you being a co-founder of the group Green Revolutions, do you still see it as we move towards this electionary time, where your boss is seeking re-election? Do you still believe that there was a doctrine of the lower belt people, the lower New Dirty Belt people seeking or beseeching that yes, indeed, it is about time that we need to, we need to control the amount of authority of the district, and as such, we need to gather those forces to make sure that an embodiment of this particular segment can actually be able to steady affairs of the. Do you see that kind of solidarity forces made the growing disenchantment, the mounting allegations from people who are not very pleased with Representative Edward Frumo's styles of leadership? Do you see that? Do you still see that kind of solidarity?
Yes, Honorable Fumbo, Honorable Fumbo still enjoys the confidence from the district, people of the district. The people in the lower belt, he enjoys their confidence, their support. Their support still remains vibrant. Their support still remains overwhelming. Their support still remains guaranteed. The lower belt plus the upper belt, because the upper belt on the football is not just forgetting about the upper belt. He has done projects in the upper belt to tell the people that he's not a one-sided lawmaker. He is the leader of the entire district. So problems identified in any part of the district, he goes there, make intervention. So if you go to the upper belt, we have one of the largest projects, in his office, or that is being undertaken by his office. And this project is called the Judy Brown Bridge. It is a project. It is a bridge that links the main New Georgia Estate Road with the Judy Brown community, JW Reeves community.
But one could say that project has lasted for long, and it is about time that I don't know for what reason could he be delaying the project, and for what reasons. What could be your own reactions for the delay of the project? Because I have been monitoring that project for relatively more than a year plus.
Okay, thank you very much. That project was initiated since 2021. Ground was breaking for that project. So thank God that USS said you have monitored that project for over a year, right?
Yeah.
So if you see that project is a capital intensive project that needs real money. It is a project, that consumes, materials. The materials are bought by money. So that project was initiated by the honorable, and when he lobbied, when the financial funds depleted, he had to pause to raise money. And besides that, the district, there are a lot of competing priorities in the district. So that project is expensive, and we have other projects that are needed, by people. So we have to attend to. So he's the one doing everything. So now he has lobbied with other institutions, and they have, gave him attention and make some contribution that he has just, resumed operation on the project. So, but that is a milestone project. But besides that, other parts of that upper belt, have benefited, from most initiatives.
All right.
So
Other parts of of the community or the district has benefited from representative oversight or his functions of his oversight responsibility. Or a lot of people who have been who were once with the Green Revolution, and some of those people who got disappointed with this tide, or perhaps some of these audio that transpired between they and the lawmaker, accuses the lawmaker accuses the lawmaker of being a nepotist. How do you see those? How do you look at those statements?
okay, so everybody has his right to criticize. I say his right. I use HRS as a generic masculine, meaning that it's a masculine that is used to clarify every unclear gender in grammar. So everybody will be mixed with man and woman. So I use everybody has his right to criticize or to criticism. Okay, my issue is my response to that question. That question is some of those guys who worked through the Green Revolution, from the campaign time to the success, of the honorable, uh, they criticize because they probably have their own decision. But if you can name some of them, then specifically, I can be able to
The
address.
likes of Emmett Toga, the likes of Majida Lincoln, and the long list of other people who I may not be in the know of. In the various chat rooms, they are always saying that they are always saying that, oh yes, indeed, Representative Errol Flomo is a nepotist. You and most often the reference you, Mr. So, as his cousin, the reference Webster Tobias Kuhn as his cousin also. So I really don't know what were some of those criterion, or I want to know. A lot of people may be interested to know what were some of those criterion after the Green Revolution took power. What were some of those criterion or priorities that the lawmaker uh, took emphasis in or took interest prior to awarding positions, or whether he did it on a merit-based system or he was just doing it on the basis of consanguinity or whatsoever.
Okay, so let me speak specifically to Monjila Lincoln, who used to be the special
Why do you want to
assistant.
speak only to address Majida Lincoln?
Yes, begin with Monjila Lincoln because he was one of the persons employed, with in the office on the Flumbo. Stuga was not employed, was not being employed. So if you talk, because you talk about criteria or a criterion
Yeah.
that was used in probably recruiting employees, or hiring employees, right? Okay, so Monjida was one person who was in employ of the lawmaker, so I want to speak to him specifically. Okay, Monjida Lincoln. Okay, let me talk about the criteria first of the lawmaker. The lawmaker didn't have a set of criteria. The office there is a political office, so you don't have too much bureaucracy for employment. So if it is a private institution or private office, then we will have the, the procedure, you know, the procedure of employment, where there will be, uh, you will have, vacancy, placed up for applications. But for the political office, it's not that if I will see on your ID card, you will see staff from personal staff. Hmm?
Mhm.
So it means that the man uses his own discretion. A lawmaker uses his own discretion to select, his own selection. So Major Lincoln was one of the persons that was selected. It was not done based on education or qualification or competence. So he was made special assistant to the lawmaker. So he was working, and but then there was a time he he decided to be adamant. When I say he decided to be adamant, he decided to be rebellious. You know, 20 we won the election. We put everything behind. We're not fighting anybody again. There was a time. There was a time to focus on the people's problem, the workings of the district. to solve those problems that we saw. But he was still attacking people. To be specific, he was attacking Mr. Hadi Joseph every time addressing and calling names. And I was one person, I was not in the office at the time. He's advising Ngida Lincoln. It's not good. We are not fighting, we are not campaigning. Mr. Joseph, Stone Mountain. We have to focus on our issue. So if you want to write on Facebook, I think you should be writing to promote the office of the honorable. Instead of diving into or instead of continuing political campaign spree on Facebook or against people. So it wasn't good for us. So those were the advice I need to give you. So 2021, 2020, yeah, 2021 when Batispa decided to contest in the Montserrat State Central elections. Um, we and the CDC, the office of the CDC, were not in good terms. They didn't have a cordial relationship. So I saw the need that we, that we need that as one of the strategists in the office of Ondo. But I wasn't directly blood now, but you can't fact. I saw the need that we should go back to CDC, recommend if we should reactivate our activities with the CDC, our membership with CDC, and promote the cordiality of the CDC. So Joey said yes, can I agree? He come on Gila Lincoln and others are waiting office. So gentlemen decided to go back to party to work in alignment with the party. So and we got a candidate in the elections and this candidate is on 35 amongst our country. So if my interest is the one carry, so I'll use this program, this particular occasion to send my message to the good party. When she started to go Adam, he started misbehave, he said he can't do it. So the other was like, well, look at it. So I sat down and said he left the job.
Okay. Now, one last question before we transition up to Capitol building, where there are a lot of allegations about the lawmaker, your boss, that he is underperforming, he doesn't speak. What is this issue? Because in the elections that in which President Joseph, who is now the senator, was campaigning vigorously against Representative Edward Flomo when John Weir was also competing for the same position. We never saw a very good relationship involving Representative Flomo and that of Sir Joseph. But what is it this time that we things has changed dramatically? Sir Joseph and Edward Flomo has now become almost like two pair. What is this issues about their cordiality that a lot of people want to understand, because it actually surprises a lot of people people who knew how vocal Sir Joseph was for against Representative Edward Flomo when he was competing. What is this thing? Do you have a clue about it?
Okay, so thank you for your question. Brilliant question. Okay, so my response is that politics is not enmity, or we have what we call we don't have permanent friends in politics. We have permanent.
Yeah, the slogan we don't in politics. There is no permanent enemy, no permanent and no friend.
Yeah, there is no permanent enemy. I mean, at the time we were vying for the same position. The Honorable Flomo, leader of the Green Revolution at the time, was vying for what we call the seat of the district. And Honorable Sahadi Joseph had a candidate, that he preferred that could better represent, on the that would better represent the city's ticket and take over the Mountain Authority in the district. So there was a disagreement there. So in politics, in campaigning, in electioneering, you always expect harsh harsh exchanges from opposite sides. So I mean, it was a time at the time. What happened? It happened during a particular time it's supposed to happen. So after elections, the Honorable Flomo has gone back to CDC. He has cemented his relationship with the ruling party, which Sir Joseph is part of. So I mean, they have to work together because they are partisans, and moreover, they are big brother and small brother. And Honorable Sir Joseph is considered, hmm, is being considered as the political godfather of Honorable Flomo now.
Do you see the Sir Joseph as the political godfather of district 13, just by you have said that he is the political godfather to Edward Pape Filmo? Do you see him here as a political godfather of district 13? That any politician needs to to establish a very good relationship with prior to his ascendancy?
Oh yes, he is the political godfather of district 13.
He is the political godfather of
He is
district 13.
also the political godfather to Honorable Flomo.
Okay, also a political godfather. So let's move over to up Capitol building. A lot of people, and even people who are also competing for the very position that Representative Edward Flomo holds now, they always say that Representative Edward Flomo is not very proactive. He is not a kind of talking type on the to debate the issues at Capitol Hill. What's your reaction to this thing? Or perhaps you want to bring up to speed with some of those things that Edward Flomo has been doing, some of those bills he has been recommending, and with his counterparts, convincing his counterparts at the house there, that a lot of people don't know, but they just speculate because we live in a society where the level of gullibility is very high. A lot of people speculate without even having a clue of what they are saying.
Yeah, so Flomo's performance at the Capitol, you know, is welcoming. Uh, he's proactive. He attends sessions. He represents the district, and he also participates in plenary. So there's something they call redundancy in English. So if everybody is speaking on this issue with the same idea, give the same points, I don't think it make my point. That same point, it will make any difference.
So when was the last time Representative Edward Flomo was the very first person or was a focal person on a particular issue that has reflections of the national interest? When was the last time did he propose a particular bill?
Okay, so bill, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Before going for the constituency break in this year, 2023, he crafted two bills. He crafted two legislations, and submitted in plenary.
What was the essence of those two legislatures? Do you want to bring up to speed with the emphasis and some of those details within the legislations you are referencing?
Okay, so legislations are crafted there are problems to solve problems, for citizens of the state. So you don't just work and you craft these things. These are highly sensitive things.
No, I do understand the process of bill, and I understand the legislative process associated. First, they have to be into a bill. You have to seek like-minded scholars to be able to
Yeah. So I'm saying, like you say, what is the essence of what have you read? Okay, the first of all, he saw what we call education. He saw education, as a universal right, right? It's a universal right for every child in your country, right? Okay. So one of the importance, I can name the two bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is an act to make lawful the payment of WAS fee.
An actual he was basically supporting the president's idea or the president's policies on free education.
Very good on free education.
Mm-hmm.
Enhancing it, fortressing it. But the president every academic year, he pays $12 WAS fee, right? And there's a money coming from the budget, right, to pay that. But it is not into law, right? It is not a bill. It's not law. But you just do it at his own discretion. So if next government coming, if he leaves power, if this administration goes away, And next government comes or next administration comes, they will trash it. They say it's not important to us. Let it go pay the children's school fee, what's fee.
Okay, what were some of those relatives speaking? Still speaking on that particular issue. What did he see, and what did he see then that he said, yes, indeed, this particular bill or this particular methodology has been proposed by the president needs to be, needs to be stabilized in a wake of alleviating our people from this level of constraint. Was there a particular issue that he saw? Did he see any challenge at the time?
Yeah. So he saw that there was a relief, or he sees a relief in the in parents who have been struggling for what, because before the president made that declaration, before he started to pay wise fee for 12 graders in the Republic Library, we used to have series of letters coming to, you know, people in the communities, people who are in government, people who are in private institutions working for wise fee or wise come you see all around the place. So when he saw that stability, you know, that stress stability, that there was no stress again to worry about WASP payment, WASP payment, and the students were only there to study. They were not worrying anymore again to go to uncles, to go to aunties, to go to people for WASP payment. And, and he saw that as a very good thing. So he wants it to continue. So it should be, generation to generation enjoyment. So that's why he went, he thought it was to put this into law, to craft a bill that will be considered, to put it on. So he included the sixth graders and the ninth graders. So he included two different categories, adding to the 12 graders for free payment of hours. So if it is passed in the bill, if it is passed in the law, I mean, our children will only be learning as they reach 12 sixth grade, though your parent will not be stressing themselves for WASP payment or WASP payment. As they reach now, the parents will not strive again to pay WASP for you. Relax yourself study in 12th grade, So yeah, government in, government out, it will be the policy of the day.
Okay. Most recently, Representative Errol Flamo posted a picture wherein he and his political godfather, as you said, was seated at the invisible spokespark along the Congo Town Route, the Single area, wherein he said, is he interested in becoming senator in 2029? Why, as I just said, will definitely, but particularly I am very, very much interested in him. Is he interested in becoming senator? Do you have any clue, or was he just saying it to arouse the political emotions of some of the people who who maybe his detractors? Was he saying that, or does he have a plan of becoming senator in 2029?
Uh, Seriously, I don't have a clue, on that, so I can't comment on that. But what I can tell you is that he has a very good relation, a cordial relationship with the Lord, the Senator of the County, and with Sahari Joseph. So wherever on the Sahari Joseph somewhere, he places a call to him. I say, oh, Lord God, Representative or Honorable, where are you? He said, I'm supposed to play okay, but come to me, let's say small talk. So the photo you saw on Facebook or on social media was taken during
The thank you, right?
17 Josh Thank You program.
Yeah.
So it was after the program, after the president has spoken. So Sahari Joseph and he met, they met and they went over there to sit to wait for maybe the crowd to go down. So they were having the tete-a-tete and I think about shot that photo and they don't post it.
Okay, folks, for those of you who are watching, the number to call is 0770 13 13 18. 0770 13 13 18. We are in conversation with the human resource officers in the office of District 13 lawmaker Mustafa Sow. He has been talking. We have been talking critical national issues about the district, and we have been also analyzing the politics, the trends of politics in District 18. So he has been our guest since 5 o'clock, even though we we were caught up with some technical issues, but however, he has appeared. Like he said, he told me that I will appear, and I will definitely appear. So he is now comfortably seated in our studio now, where we are discussing. So we have our first caller on the line. Good evening. Good evening. The New Jersey Bell. Okay, good evening, Honorable.
So thank you, and I want to appreciate the HR in the office of Honorable Baptist, my good friend, also for his kind deliberation on the issue. So with my input, it is a clear manifestation with one of the questions that you have asked that the HR answered, but it's important that we give our view. So the first thing when it comes to the education or the propaganda, one of the is a good law because this is my imagination. Because if you must do a survey, comes to the lower house, one of the is one of those laws because that offer a tangible and a revolution that we build in my mind that in the interest of the ordinary people. So it's not about raising your hand and countering or making input as it is being perceived by other people. But if you must do your survey, especially the opposition, it's survey as to how many of the lawmakers have even had the thought for the past this year. We can need them to proffer a bill that our Rukuma has done. None of them, not majority of them.
Honorable, can a lot of people want to hear you on this platform, so will it be prudent that you come to make your issues, despite your HR is here to lamenting on some of those issues?
Yeah, I'm not a horrible. I said this is William B. Sando.
Oh, William Sando.
This is William.
Oh, sorry. All right. Sorry. Why?
Yeah. So yeah, let me let my thought. So it's unfortunate that people were treating in a triviality of politics. So if you must do a clear analysis about the honorable justice that has the two oversight, lawmaking, and representation, he has scored 95%.
All right.
He has scored
30 seconds. There are lots of people on the line who want to contribute. All right. Thank you for contributing. All right, thank you. So we have a caller who expressed his delight over the performance of Representative Edward Papi Flomo. So the number is still open, the line is still open. You can put in your call. Hello, caller? Hello? Hello, caller?
Good evening, Leonard Topa.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where are you calling from, Chief?
Yeah, so I'm Ernest Lavin Lincoln, and I call from Dukewood Road. Let me say thank you for carrying out such a very beautiful program as a resident of District 13, even though I'm on a sabbatical away from District 13. I listened with keen interest on your guests, with particular interest around the bill. To be very realistic, nothing clearly was explained that is in that bill. Let me take a few steps back and talk about free education in Liberia. Is the free education being delivered with the quality that we so dearly need? If so, why do we have so many Liberians applying for scholarships to go outside Liberia? The free universities, and we're talking about public universities. What are some of these issues that we are encountering? We have not discussed it. Okay, as much as we can still debate on the issue about the lawmaker crafting bill, what is this bill saying that what is the pathway for income generation? How are we going to be generating income that will be paying 12th grade, 6th grade, third grade wide fees? We should move away from saying things with so much excitement and start presenting clear policy statements to Liberian people, because I can tell these lawmakers what they are failing to understand is the Liberia of 2005 is not the Liberia of 2011. The Liberia of 2011 is not the Liberia of 2018. The Liberia of 2018 is not going to be a Liberia of 2023. You have so many learned people, you have so many astute individuals, you have so many intellectuals. So if you sit in the public and try to provide information, provide in a very holistic way. Why is it that the current free Wi-Fi cannot be law? Is because the current government cannot provide a clear policy pathway on how the so-called income is being generated on an annual basis to pay for the 12th grade Wi-Fi. It sounds very good, but we should be talking about having a sustainable income. The bill should have very clear write-up. Can we please have a copy of this bill published or provided to us folks for us to read it, for us to scrutinize this bill and know the different sets of challenges that's presented, the pathway that's presented, and how sustainable or any government apart from the George Weah government coming in is going to be paying a wide fee for just not or 12th grade, but third grade, 6th grade, inclusive of free primary education.
In conclusion,
university education. These things have to be clear, because if it is not clear, it is just one mere political charade that we are all getting into, and at the end of the day, we tend to achieve nothing. I can tell you in closing that the gentleman in studio provide us when people are discussing bills. People should articulate the bill. But nothing that was articulated, the president, the just to support the president education and this. No, that's not an explanation. So I want you to please go back on that particular topic. Let your guests tell us what Honorable Edward Papi Flomo has drafted.
Okay.
Who are his co-supporters on that bill?
Okay. He is hearing you loud and clear.
Clear pathway for a sustainable income that Liberian government, George Weah or not, will be able to raise the income to pay perpetually students wide fees, college fees, and high school fees for the rest of Liberia's generation. I thank you very much.
All right, thank you for participating also. So so the numbers to call again is 0770 13 18. So you can place through your call and you will be loud. So we just have about 2 more minutes to entertain questions, call from those who are watching us. Okay, so Mustafa Sow, you listening to the two colors,
Okay.
and I think the two colors, and I think particularly, I think you will be responding to those two colors, and after you shall have responded to those two colors, then we will entertain questions from our comment sections. Then we will throw a few questions to you and call it off there.
Okay, so thanks to William B. Sando and for his participation, and he was just in line with me, for my presentation. So the fellow that who said he's on sabbatical from District 13, he talks about the areas of revenue generation to support that particular bureau that will sustain the payment of WAS fee by this government and incoming governments. So number one, the bill is in committee room, it is to be debated, and we give a clear, area for revenue generation. We talk about with the, we have, we did an investigation with the Ministry of Labor uh, for what we call work permit in Liberia. So we got the prices, the different prices of work permit in Liberia. So we use that particular, you know investigation to ask the Ministry of Labor to increase. We also doing, to increase, like you call it, work permit fees by 2%.
So, work
So
permit
any
fees.
money
Mhm.
raised from that particular area, from work permits in Liberia, work permit belongs to foreigners, right?
Yeah, yeah.
People who are non-Liberian, right?
Mhm.
Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face-to-face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Tobo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal. Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face-to-face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Tobo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal.